Hey guys, what's going on? Your old buddy Tim Knox back in the Revolved Realty studio doing something a little different today. Normally on the program, we talk about buying and selling real estate, but today I have an old buddy of mine from Canada, of all places. Canada and Alabama. We use a lot of A's in the name. I think that's the only thing we have in common. Sebastian Malinowski, sir, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Thanks so much for having me here, Tim. I've been to Alabama once, and it was hotter than hell. That's all I remember. It was
it is here most of that. What part of the state did you come to?
You know what? I have no idea. It was so long ago.
Yeah.
It was back in college because I have an engineering background and I had to design industrial equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And my boss says, well, you know, you've designed this thing. It was an HVAC system.
Okay.
You designed this thing. Why don't you get your butt out into the field and see how this thing actually looks in real life?
Mm-hmm.
Truthfully, I don't know where I was. I couldn't even tell you. It was so long. I didn't even care.
I guarantee you, you're probably where I am in Huntsville, which is North Alabama. It is the engineering capital of the South. So you were probably here.
It's very possible.
Yeah, and we have the third largest concentration of engineers and scientists in the entire country. So that is our claim to fame. But the reason you are here today is because you have really become kind of my mentor and coach. You're the expert, in my opinion, on using video to market yourself as a realtor, or as I like to say, a realtor.
That's right, realtor.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This program is for my fellow realtors. You know, I do a lot of videos, Sebastian. I get a lot of compliments and comments. People want to know how I do it, what I do. And so I thought, who better than to have you on to kind of clear that up. So
I appreciate that.
Awesome, buddy. Before we get started, give us a really quick thumbnail. Who is Sebastian Malinowski?
It's quite an interesting story, and it goes back to when I was 9 years old, when I became a real estate agent, essentially.
At the age of 9.
At the age of 9, I remember walking into my very first open house with my parents. I'm the oldest of 3. They woke me up for some reason every weekend to go house shopping with them. Why me? I don't know. But very quickly, I loved it. I was 9 years old. My parents have never owned a home. They've always rented. We were back from Poland. They're working 2 jobs each just to make ends meet and to save up for a new home. So off to every open house every weekend, off with them, I went. And I remember we were standing at this open house. And I was standing in the corner with my mom, and my dad was off in the other corner of the room talking to somebody. And he was just grinning from ear to ear. He came back to us about 5-10 minutes later. And I said, Dad, who was that lady? And he says, well, she's a real estate agent. I was 9. I had no idea this even existed. I said, what's a real estate agent? He says, well, she's going to help us buy our first home. And just the look in his face, just the excitement, I knew that this person made my parents happy. And in that moment, I knew that's what I was going to do for a living. On the way out of the open house, I turned to my parents and I said, when I grow up, I'm going to sell homes for a living. My dad looks down at me, he says, son, when you grow up, you'll get a real job.
You know what? I wanted to be a cowboy at 9. You wanted to be a realtor.
I wanted to be a realtor. I don't know what it was. It was something about homes, house hunting, the fact that this agent made my parents, my dad so happy. I said, that's what I'm going to do. And since the age of 9, I knew I paid attention to real estate. I was a young teenager going to all these new build construction sales centers, picking up every floor plan, and they were all over my room. I had magazines with I don't know what it was. I'm sick. Wow. I don't know. I'm the only teenager like that. So, but of course, my parents, my teacher said, you've got a great creative mind. Why don't you get into engineering? Hence, that's how I ended up in Alabama. Okay. I did. So I went to college, off to engineering, and it was okay. I mean, I was able to use my creative ability, but in the back of my mind, it was always real estate. One day I woke up, my boss pulls me into the office and he says, you know what? You don't seem too happy here. And now at that point in time, I transitioned into recruiting technical people because I wanted sales experience. I knew nothing about recruiting. I didn't want that job, but I wanted to learn sales because I knew one day I'm going to sell homes. So after about a year working there, he says, you don't seem too happy. What's going on? And I said, well, I'm not. I really don't like this job. And this was Friday afternoon. I walked out without a job. I said, you're right. I don't like it here. That was when I went into work that morning, I had no idea I was going to quit.
Yeah.
Friday afternoon, I came home. I said, honey, now we were married, honey, I'm unemployed. So I had to become an agent, get my license very quickly. And that's what started my career. And I was
what was her response to that?
Deer in headlights. It was like, say that in my good ear. Like but she believed in me. She trusted in me. She believed in me. We were in our early 20s. So we were all invincible at that age. I said, okay, well, mid 20s, something like that. I said, okay, no problem. So that was quite a few years ago. So I mean, almost 15 years, I had my real estate license. And in roughly 2002, I fully fledged real estate agent. I went out and I did what I was told. Pick up the phone, pick a street and start cold calling. And I took on every open house I possibly could. So from 2002 to about 2008, 2009, I grew my business through cold prospecting. I hated that aspect of it, but that's what I did. One day I woke up in 2009 and I was tired. I was tired of running on that hamster wheel, and my business literally tanked. I just gave up. I did not want to continue cold calling. I had to sell my house. I had to relocate my family from a beautiful 3,000 square foot home that I worked so hard to build. I squeezed us into a rental. I paid off my almost 6-figure debt that I have incurred at that point in time. Now, money coming in, money flying out. It's so easy to spend money in this business. And I had a decision to make: either quit or revamp my business. I didn't want to quit. I have a passion for this business. I had to find a new way. I went online and started researching how to do marketing. And I've got a video background. As a teenager, I spent every single weekend recording weddings with my dad. So I had that skill. I at least had that. And I said, how can I utilize that to attract business instead of chasing it? I ran across Gary Vaynerchuk, and of course, he was doing Wine Library back then. And I noticed all he did was plop a camera in front of him and spoke about wine. So I figured, why not do that? I plopped the camera in front of me. I started talking, and I failed miserably. And I learned a very, very important lesson. You see, the old school mentality of real estate is you have to show people how good you are. Right. I took that mentality and I applied that to my videos, and I was telling people how good I was, and it didn't work. I went back to the drawing board and I said, no, there's something different Gary's doing that obviously it's different. And I noticed he wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about the wine.
Yep.
I deleted all my videos. I hit record again, and I started talking to my audience, and I started giving them advice. And I will never forget the moment the first lead came in. It was about a month or two after I started the videos. And my wife was upstairs. Now we were living in the rental, and she started screaming. She's like, Sab, come here. And I wasn't sure whether she was scared or excited. I've never heard her yell my name like that. She's like, Sab, come here. I got to show you something. I run upstairs, and she's pointing at my computer screen, and she says, check this out. You've got to read this. I'm reading the email, and the email, I'm going to paraphrase here. It says, Dear Sebastian, I watched all your videos. Thank you so much for your advice. In fact, I took all your advice. I went to the bank, got pre-approved up to $400,000. And if you're not too busy, could you please help me find our first home for my fiance and I? And I was like, busy? I haven't sold a home in months. I'm not busy.
Would you please help us?
Yeah, would you please help us? And here's the kicker. This is the part that really hits my heart. At the end of the email, it reads, but if you are too busy, I understand. But could you refer me to somebody just like you?
That's great.
Like, what? Just like me? You mean there's somebody out there that enjoys watching my videos? Now, of course, being the busy agent, I took 2 or 3 hours to reply. And I said, hey, so-and-so, I can meet you Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Tuesday, 6 o'clock rolls around. This is my first internet lead that reached out to me. I'm in my office. I'm scared. I don't know who this person is. They come walking into my office. It was a nice young couple. Envision the nicest first-time buyer couple you've ever worked with. That was them. They walked into the office, and I walked up to greet them at the front reception, and they were like this.
It's like they were meeting Elvis.
Yeah, and I was like, what's going on? And his jaw was dropped. And I thought maybe my zipper was undone or something. I'm reaching down going, no, everything's fine. He turns to her and he's like, no, she turns to him and she's elbowing him. Psst, psst, honey, that's him.
Guy.
And I'm turning around going, who? They were looking at me. I felt like a rock star for the first time in my life. That's what video has allowed me to do. And from that moment on, I knew I was onto something. I've never picked up the phone call to do another cold call again. Never. It all stopped when I started regrowing and rebranding my business. A few years later, I had to hire another team member to just keep up with the leads that were coming in. And life was fun again. This business was fun again. And from there, I just expanded. I started with video, and then it just expanded to social media, websites, and things like that. That's me.
Yeah. Yep. Here, let me pick that story apart because I love all the stuff.
Of course.
You literally got into real estate because as a child, you saw someone make your mom and dad very happy.
Yes.
Which always, that begs the question, if it had been a really bad experience, would you still be in real estate? Who knows? But
who knows?
You followed that dream. You got the college degree. You became an engineer. You were miserable. You decided to quit on the spot.
Yep.
And you tried to do the old traditional thing where, we all are trained to make cold calls.
Yes.
And 99% of people cannot effectively make a phone call. I think that's honestly the failure rate in real estate. Those are the ones that can't learn how to make those phone calls, because that's really what it takes. But you were miserable doing it, so you decided to go a different route and started using video. Now, I remember Wine TV back when he did that.
Yeah.
I used to watch those and go, who's watching this crap? Other than right? Who knew? Right?
You and I were watching it.
And look where we are today, 20 years later.
Yeah.
So those first videos that you did, let's talk a little bit about, number one, the content. What kind of videos were those?
Okay, so the way I looked at it, once I stopped talking about myself and I deleted, I wish I kept every video I shot. But as time went on, I thought, this video sucks, and I just kept deleting them. Today, I wish I had them so I can show you. But essentially, when I started regrowing my business, I knew I had to focus on my prospect. And back then, I wanted to focus on the first-time buyer. And that's who I started attracting. That was my first lead that came in. I love working with first-time buyers.
Yep.
I don't subscribe to this whole notion of, hey, you got to go chase listings to be successful. Now, I'm not saying that's wrong. I mean, that's a great business strategy, but that wasn't for me. I loved working buyers. So I started keeping track of every question that came up more than once from a buyer. And I started answering the question on video. It was that. So I created what I call a 20 email campaign back then. And I ran that for a while. So for example, a lead came in. Is the internet okay?
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, it's
okay.
kind of burping a little bit, but you're still good. Yeah.
Okay. So every time a lead came in, I would email them 20 times. Why 20? I don't know. So the first 10 emails were the most commonly asked questions a first-time buyer would ask me. I didn't answer sellers' questions or move up or move down buyers or empty nesters or investment people. I spoke to a specific person, and it was a first-time buyer. The first 10 emails were most commonly asked questions answered on video. And here's the part that really took things up a notch. The second 10 questions were questions that they didn't know to ask, but I brought them up and I answered them. The second set of questions made me look like the authority and the expert because now I implanted something in their mind that they weren't thinking. Now they're going, what else does this guy know?
Yeah.
And that's all I did.
Yeah.
I sat down in the corner of my room. I put the video camera up and I recorded, I think it was like 5 to 10 videos at once. I took 2 or 3 days to do it. I edited them all together and I just started emailing them.
Yeah. I think one of the important things you said there is this. You stopped focusing on yourself and started focusing on them. And this is a mistake that I see a lot of, not just realtors, but a lot of people make when
That's
they
right.
make a video, it's all about them.
Yes.
You know, I hate those videos where people are just kind of sitting in a car pontificating on a topic.
Yeah.
I don't care what you think about, you know, you're not an oracle, but if you're giving me advice that is helpful to me as a viewer, I think you're far more apt to get those viewers, right? I mean, rather than talking about
100%.
yourself,
That's right.
tell them the things they want to hear and even the things they don't know they want to hear.
That's the key. They don't know what they don't know. So you bring these things up and say, did you know this? And all of a sudden they're thinking, no, I didn't. Tell me more.
Yeah. It's the old, remember the old, everything you wanted to know about whatever, but we're afraid to ask.
Yes.
That kind of marketing. So I think that's brilliant. So you were targeting first-time home buyers. You were doing videos targeting them. And I love the bit where you meet them and they look at you and you're a celebrity. I mean, I think that's one of the things I've always found very interested in is if you're on television, regardless whether you're on commercials. When I had my gun stores, I did my own TV commercials. And I would, to the day, I haven't done one of those commercials in 15 years. And I still have people walk up to me today going, I love your commercials. What?
Yeah.
But so
that's right.
I think that's really important. And I think you have to position yourself, Sebastian, as the expert.
Absolutely.
Right? Not just some guy or gal making videos to hear your head rattle. You are the expert and people should listen to what you have to say, right?
Why would somebody hire a lawyer to do something specific? Well, they're the expert. Somebody needs brain surgery. They go to a brain surgeon. They're the expert. And that's how I wanted to position myself. I didn't want to be a general practitioner that 99% of the agents are. Well, can you sell my home? Yes, I can. Can you help me buy it? Yes, I can. Can you do investments? Yes, I can. Well, what can't you do? Oh, I can do everything. Now you're kind of blending in like vanilla, like the rest of the agents. You're part of the background. But if you stand for something and you have an opinion about something and you teach them about that something, now you're the expert. Can every single agent under the sun help a first-time buyer? Of course. But why were they not being paid attention to?
Yeah.
Because they blended in.
Yeah.
I stood out. And I was no better than they were.
Exactly. But here's my thing. I have always gone under the auspices that the loudest kid in class gets the most attention. Whether that attention is good or bad. So I have always tried to be the loudest kid in class.
Yeah.
And by doing that, I think you do establish yourself as a local expertise, or at least people get used to seeing you on video. And that brings up the next question. Yeah. Why, in your opinion, is video the big thing now for realtors to use to do their marketing?
Well, I think video is big in general, regardless of the industry, and the statistics prove it.
Yep.
More and more platforms are introducing video. Look at Facebook a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, when they introduced video. They were pumping video content. Why? Because that's what people want. If I wanted to send a message to you, I can write it on a sticky, give it to you. You would read it and go, okay, cool. I can record myself just on a recorder, not visually, just audibly, and you can listen to it and you go, okay, that would be the next level of being able to understand a person. But if I spoke to you on video and you can see me and you can feel my energy, my emotion, and I can convey a message, now you're intrigued. Now you've made a connection with that person. That's why we all love going to the movies. That's why we all watch TV, because we fall in love with a certain character. If Brad Pitt was not on a movie, but he just decided to write down his script and send it to you, you would have no clue who Brad Pitt was. Visual, because now you're using all your senses. Yeah, you can't smell the person, obviously, but now you're hearing them, you're observing them, and you can follow the storyline so much easier. Yeah. And they're saying that very soon, the majority of content online is going to be video. So, I believe it. Yeah. And I mean, that's what people want. Well, it does. And especially with the advent of Facebook now, which is kind of where everybody hangs out. Video, everything is video there. Well, let's talk about it from a realtor standpoint, because like I said, I'm one of the
I think one of the few that use video to the extent that we do. I'll do the standard Facebook Lives, the walkthroughs, but we do a 30-minute live show on real estate. I have a bunch of different little interview with expert series. So I'm kind of not the norm. And again, I do that because of my background as an entrepreneur. If I am someone who has never done a video in my life and I get my real estate license, how do I get started doing videos? Do I need to go spend a couple of grand on a camera? Do I need to build a set? What do I need to do?
Okay, so you need a $10,000 budget, and the best, no, I'm just kidding. No, like this.
Mm-hmm.
You hit this button,
there
it's
you go.
recording. Literally that easy. And I mean, it freaks people out because they think video has to be some huge production.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't. If you've got a cell phone with a camera, that's all you need. You don't need any equipment. You don't need any editing software. You just need your phone. You can get free apps that will do simple editing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And the agents that have never done it, they don't know what they're missing. And all it takes is for you to do one video, upload it, and there is a mind shift. It's kind of like when you step out of your comfort zone for the first time when you do something, you look back and you're like, what was I so scared of? I panicked for no reason. I put roadblocks in my mind that stopped me for no reason. Doing anything for the first time, yes, it's difficult, but we tell ourselves it's difficult. Just do your first video. If you hate it, don't publish it.
Right.
Well, you know what? Publish it.
Just put it out there.
Put it out there, because what is awful to you is not awful to other people. And that's why I deleted a lot of my videos, because to me they were awful, but I attracted my perfect client.
Yeah.
They worked.
Yeah. My most popular videos are not the ones I do in the studio. I have what I call my ride and rants. And I literally will put my cell phone in a holder on the dash as I drive. I'll pick a topic and I just kind of rant and riff. It's completely off the top of my head. I was in a restaurant a while back and a guy comes up to me, never met him. He goes, "Hey, you're that driving and bitching guy."
Driving and bitch.
Yeah. And I'm like, yes, I am. I am that driving and bitching guy, Okay. So
that doesn't surprise me. So, sorry, I just had a thought. I don't mean to interrupt you. You said those are your most popular videos.
Mm-hmm.
From my point of view, watching your stuff on Facebook, I'm going to be honestly truthful to you. I watch your rant videos more than I do your studio videos.
Yeah.
Why? Because they capture my attention. Who's this guy in the car that's about to rant? Who doesn't love to hear a good rant?
Yeah. Well, you know what? Howard Stern always says that he got so big because people who hated him listened to see what he was going to say.
That's right.
And so I think those videos but I think you're right. If you've got one of these,
that's all you need.
You can start doing videos. It's so simple. And this is what I train my agents to do. Just practice. Do some videos.
Yeah.
If you're not ashamed of it, post it. I've got stuff floating around out there from the last 15 years that's just laughable. But
I've seen your stuff on YouTube from a while ago.
I dark hair. I was young. I was thin.
But it's awesome.
But people seem to appreciate the goofiness of it. You know what I mean? I think everybody's worried about being so straight-laced and, no one's going to want to do business with me if I don't wear a three-piece suit and enunciate on my videos. I can't tell you how many millions of dollars worth of houses I've sold off of my silly little videos.
It was a huge fear of mine. That was the biggest fear. I had two fears when I was doing video. It wasn't the video itself. It wasn't the recording and the message. Mm-hmm. I had a fear of trying to look professional. Because of what you said, I had to, enunciate everything and I have to be professional on video. The second fear that I have, and it's something nobody talks about, is what are other agents going to say? What are they going to think?
Yes. Yeah.
It's like you're always paying attention to what is so-and-so going to think about me. And that, I believe, is the biggest stop factor because it's a fear. It's a genuine fear.
Yeah.
I had to get over that.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm one of those guys. I mean, I've been doing this long enough. I don't really care what anybody thinks.
Right. Exactly.
But the thing that I've found out is even, you know, I have a lot of realtors come up to me and they're, you know, we're a very competitive industry and they go, I just love those videos you do. And I'm like, well, why don't you do some? Well, I could never do that. What do you say? Because I know you do a lot of coaching and that sort of thing, but
Yeah.
to realtors who want to do what you and I do, but they are just not comfortable on video.
Check this out. A few months ago, I was driving. Now, this is last year, because now we're 2019. So 2018, when I still was selling real estate, which now, like you said, I'm doing the coaching aspect of it. I had a guy pull up beside me driving down the road, and his car was plastered with real estate things. And I knew
my head is big on the side of my car. Yeah.
See, he did not have his face or head on it. He just had his logo. And I recognized the logo. I know I've seen him before. He could have probably been at one of my events or seminars or something like that. So I'm looking over, he's to my right, and I'm looking over to see who's in the car. And I didn't want to make it obvious, like I'm staring at him. So we pull up, we're both at a red light now. This is him and here's me, and I'm looking over and I notice he's doing this. Roll down your window, roll down your window. Now he's got my attention. I'm like, okay, hold on. Bzz, window goes down. He goes, dude, I love your videos. Now he's my competitor.
Yeah.
He goes, dude, I love your videos. Please don't stop making them because I share them all.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
My competitor shares my videos.
Yeah.
Why? And he said this. He goes, I share them because you're able to talk about the market and the future of the market in such a way that I'm not able to. I can't do videos like that, so I just share yours.
Yeah, that's great. Let's talk about the different types of videos, because like you and I both do, again, we do the formal shows. I do walkthroughs. I do lives. Again, just starting out, I'm a realtor. I've got my phone. I want to do it. What are some of the videos that I should do?
If you're just starting out and if you've never done video, first get comfortable in front of the camera. Otherwise, you can't go out into your community because you may make a jackass out of yourself. That's the only way I can say it. So get comfortable first. And the easiest way to get comfortable is to simply shoot market update videos. But here's the big but. Don't do it like every other realtor out there.
Yeah.
What do we see? We thumb through Facebook and we see an agent attempting to do video and they give statistics. Do you know who listens to statistics? Nobody listens to. Now, I'm not saying don't do it because it's important. People want to know facts and figures. Otherwise, how are they going to know whether you made this stuff up to make yourself look good? So you do have to flash quick numbers. But what people really want to know is your opinion. They want to know, well, what do you think of these numbers? And what does that mean to me as a buyer or a seller?
Right.
And what does that mean to me for the future? So you really need to be strong in your video in terms of your argument. This is what it means. Here's what is happening. People want your opinion. Bottom line, they want to know what you think. If you just show up numbers and say, this is what's happening, yeah, that's fine, but you'll blend in with the noise. Yeah. What's your opinion? That's the key to doing a monthly market update video. You can do them weekly or you can do them monthly, but the key is to talk about what you know first. As an agent, you should know what the market's doing. You should know what's happening out there with the buyers and sellers. Talk about what you already know, because then you're not focused on the content because you know it. Now you're focused on trying to make yourself better in front of the camera. Start there.
Yeah, I really like that because I do see a lot of realtors just, reading dry numbers.
Yes.
Who cares? You know what?
Nobody cares.
No, nobody cares. But if you take those dry numbers and you try to connotate them into some kind of meaning, this many homes were sold, which means this, The other kind of videos I see a lot of folks, Facebook Live, of course, is the big easy one. I see a lot of people doing Facebook Lives from open houses, doing tours. And I got to tell you, I hate those stumbly cell phone videos. Here's a quick story for you. My wife and I have been married 26 years. We got a buddy of mine to video the wedding. All right, this was back, remember the big VHS cameras, right?
Yeah. The Marty McFly Back to the Future briefcase.
Yeah. And as the night went on, Calvin, he did a little imbibing. So the videos got worse as the night went on. The last 10 minutes of the video, the camera is pointed down and you just see Calvin's feet.
Okay.
Which I love. But to me, that's the way a lot of these videos are. So even if you're doing these, spontaneous off the cuff videos, give a little thought as to what you're going to do and I saw one the other day. It was a video tour, Sebastian, the guy was just whipping through the house.
Oh yeah.
It was like you were on a roller
I've seen those.
So give that some thought before you do that, right?
When I started coaching people on when I started coaching realtors on how to do video back in 2010, 2011, what I told them to do is just to grab your phone and literally do any kind of video. Why? Because nobody was doing video. Your production level didn't need to be anything because everybody was watching every piece of content out there. And it could be a crappy video and people would still watch it. Today, not so much. If you do a crappy video and it's shaking all over the place, say bye-bye to that viewer. Your production level actually does need to get better as time goes on because there's more competition, more people doing video. So like you said, shaky cameras, not so much.
Yeah, invest in a selfie stick for Pete's sake. Or, a lot of the videos I do here in studio, I do them on my phone and I just have a phone tripod. And that's the easiest video because, that sort of thing. I'm not coordinated enough to use an Osmo. So I end up hurting myself.
My son got this for me for Christmas, right? They look complicated, like they're freaky robots, $150, whatever this thing was. You put it on your desk. I don't know if you can see it. Put it on your desk.
Yep.
And off you go.
Yeah. There you go.
Off to the races.
Yep. All right. So the time is going way too quickly here. So to get started, the best thing you can do, just use your cell phone.
Absolutely.
There's lots of software apps you can get. Get an Osmo, get a
selfie stick,
tripod, upload them. I upload to Facebook and to YouTube. Yeah. And so you don't need a $10,000 camera. You don't need a ton of experience. No. I think you do need to give some thought to content.
Yes.
Just so you don't come across as a dry, because people will forgive quality if the content is good, right?
Yeah. See, the thing is, if you've been shooting video for a while, now you need to focus more on the content strategy and the story behind the content. If you're new, you don't need to worry about that anymore. Your first 150 to 100 videos, they're going to suck anyway. So focus on your character, focus on you, focus on your comfort level. Once you cross that hurdle, then start focusing on the messaging, the story, the correct beginning, the middle, and the ending, the call to action. Those are different things that now you have to think about, but it depends on your level of video, I guess, your comfort level.
What are your thoughts on personality-driven video? Because you and I both have big personalities. We could just sit down and do video all day long and not think about it. But I know a lot of realtors that I've talked to, they're like, that's just not me. I'm just not a ham. And what I tell them is be yourself, be likable, because people,
that's exactly it.
Folks they like, know, and trust. Yeah.
You people watch TV because it's consistent, because there are characters that they follow and they fall in love with.
Right.
Is there such thing as a perfect character? Do you need to have an outgoing personality? No, because many times the viewer falls in love with the shy, quiet kid in the corner, the underdog. So it doesn't matter who you are as a character, just be you, and that's the character.
Yeah.
That really, it doesn't matter. You don't need some sort of a special personality. We all have a personality. Be you. And once you get comfortable in front of the camera, you will develop that. If your first video is going to be completely different than your 50th and completely different than your 100th video. Develop that. Don't worry about looking good. And if you say no, video's not for me, I can't convince you otherwise. You can say bye to a bunch of dollars coming in potentially.
Right. Your thoughts on, you don't have to have a big personality, but what about your thoughts on establishing yourself in a particular niche? You are that realtor. You mentioned that you started off with first-time home buyers. I am a listing guy. I work exclusively with listings, so that's what I try to attract. But even if you don't have a big personality, if you establish yourself as the expert in that niche, then you play off that, right?
You play off that. When you go to the doctor, Do you look for a big personality? No, you look for someone that knows their craft. Same thing with a lawyer. There are lawyers doing videos now. Do you look at their personality or how well they know their subject, their topic?
Yeah. Why is it that every lawyer doing commercials is just obnoxious as hell?
Oh, it's, yeah.
Is that the rule?
I think it is. When you go to law school, one of the last things they make you do is an obnoxious course to see if you pass.
I love that. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let's, in the time we have left, I want to talk about your coaching program, because again, I am a big fan of yours. You know, I had done video for many years, but you really were my model when it came to the digital mayor platform. A lot of the stuff that I'm doing now is because of your teaching and your coaching. Talk a little bit about your coaching program. I mean, you've got a lot of things going on right now.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Seminars, you got a YouTube channel. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm developing the coaching platform right now,
Okay.
and I call it Tribe Agents. That's why I built tribes. It's based off of the digital mayor concept that Gary Vaynerchuk in 2016, he made that term popular, digital mayor. Now, I started doing the digital mayor concept back when I started regrowing my business. Back then, I called it the online mayor. I remember standing at Starbucks with my wife, and I said, honey, I know what the concept behind it. She's like, what? She's like, I'm the mayor. Yeah, it's like a light bulb moment waiting for coffee. And she says, the mayor, but we have a mayor. And I said, no, I'm going to be like the online mayor, because now I could be online digitally and I could take up online real estate, you know, because now I could do whatever I want. I can call myself whatever I want. So I said, well, it's going to be the mayor concept, essentially. Go out into the neighborhood, promote your neighborhood, have conversations with the people out there, be different than the rest of the realtors. I knew I didn't want to do cold calling, so I essentially started promoting the neighborhood, because I know that when people buy a home or sell a home, it has nothing to do with the brick and mortar. It has everything to do with the lifestyle. People move for lifestyle changes or reasons, not because they have to. They're either divorced or they're getting married or they're having babies. Whatever the reason is, it's lifestyle driven. So I figured if I'm the online mayor, I'm going to create videos and a show around my neighborhood, my city lifestyle. So I started doing that. And because I started doing that, I started getting noticed amongst the real estate community. Broker owners are now calling me in. National brands started consulting with me. And I started falling in love with that. And everybody says, do you have a product or a coaching or something? Because this stuff is amazing. I was like, no, I sell homes for a living. I'm an agent. This is just what I do. It got to the point where it sparked a second passion. Like when I was 9, I knew I was going to be an agent. A few years ago, I knew I was meant to be in coaching. I've always loved coaching people. Even when I was in real estate, I coached people just for fun. I have a passion for it. So now I made a stand and I said, I got to get into this. It's been in the back of my mind. I'm going to do it. So I developed Tribe Agent, and it's releasing like any day on tribeagent.com. And essentially it's a one-step roadmap. This is it right here. Essentially, Tribe Agent roadmap is Tribe Agent system is 3 phases: foundation, authority, and domination. And each phase has 3 steps, and each step is designed to do something very specific. So for me, for example, I wanted to target first-time buyers. So that was my avatar. I also had to know, what are the problems? You can't help people buy or sell unless you know their internal problems. And so I started shooting videos on that, solving people's problems. And I realized after a few years, I've got the system in my head. Now I just need to get it out on paper. So I've been not sleeping essentially over the past month or 2, putting this thing together, just brainstorming, brain dumping everything that I know, plus continuously learning from the best world-class marketers to develop this. So even if you're a new agent or an experienced agent, this system will allow you to use marketing to grow your real estate business, so you don't have to do any old school prospecting. That's essentially it. I'll quickly go over the phases. The foundation is exactly that. You have to know who your target market is and what messaging works to attract them. The authority is essentially the lead conversion funnel. If you don't know what a funnel is, don't worry about it. It's just taking a buyer or seller through a roadmap from not knowing you to now using you as their realtor.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a process. There's a huge conversion is the biggest issue in this business. We get a lead and everyone's screaming, how do I convert these people?
Yep.
That's what the middle phase focuses on. The top is domination. Essentially, once you know who your client is and you know how to convert them, the domination is now you going out there into your community. Now I'm going to teach you how to use Facebook marketing to literally get your message out into the community. The second step of domination is content powerhouse. That's where I'll teach you what content to use, where to post it, how do you utilize your website, your YouTube account, and all that good stuff, social media. And the very last step is like getting black belt in karate. That's what we call digital mayor. You get your black belt, and now you're known as the actual mayor. Well, you're not the mayor, but the digital mayor of your city or your neighborhood, whichever geographical area you want to go after. Have you ever been on Facebook and somebody asks in a group, do you know a good realtor? And everyone's chiming in.
It's blood in the water.
That's what it is. And isn't it awesome when you get so many people that are constantly bringing up your name? It's because you're known in the community, even by people that don't even know you. That's when you know you've made it as a digital mayor, when everyone's referring you.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things you say there is even if you're not comfortable doing this, getting on camera with a microphone and talking about real estate, you go out in the community with your little camera or your phone and you interview business people, you interview, just people in the community. And that I think is the digital mayor concept, where you are doing all of these videos to show off your city and your neighborhood and your town.
That's right.
And in doing so, you establish yourself as the go-to guy or gal in that town.
Can you imagine if you were a local mom and pop shop, a business owner, somebody came up to you and they said, hey, listen, I've got this website that's local. Mm-hmm. I interview a lot of business owners. I help buyers and sellers in this community, and I would love to spotlight you on a video on my website. Do you mind if I do that for you? I've got thousands of eyeballs coming to this website. It could potentially help your business. As a business owner, most business owners don't know how to market. So you do a video like that, it gets mega exposure. They share that video on their social media platforms. Guess who gets the exposure? You do, as the digital mayor.
Right.
The community is promoting you because you're promoting the community.
Well, I think one of the things you said that it resonates with me is you're out doing these videos because that's what people care about. They're not interested in coming to live in Huntsville, Alabama because they see me doing real estate videos. But if I do a video at a park or with a local business, it's all about the location, the schools, etc. Then it becomes much more appealing to them. And chances are they're going to contact me for more information.
That's right. Exactly. Awesome. People move for lifestyle change. And that's exactly what we are demonstrating. Lifestyle.
Awesome. Hey, the time has just flown by. We need to do this again. Tell folks how to learn more about you, because I'll put in links to your YouTube channel and all the other stuff. But if they are interested in watching your content, which if you are a real estate agent and you see this video, you need to check out his videos, because you are going to learn an awful lot, regardless of the skill level or where you are. You've got to use video to be an effective marketer, I think, in the modern age. So, Sebastian, how do they find out more about you?
The quickest way is go to my website. It's just like my name, SebastianMalinowski.com. There's free training on there. It's a password protected website. So all you do is put in your email. It'll give you your password. You can log on. I do a lot of free training inside my website. If you want to see my YouTube channel, just go on YouTube and type in Sebastian Malinowski and my YouTube channel will come up. But if you go on my website and you register for the free content, I will automatically show you how to get a hold of me with my other social media channels and things like that. But if you want to make it easy, go to my website, SebastianMalinowski.com.
Now you're taking for granted that it's easy to spell your name,
and that's what I mean.
There are like 50 letters in your name.
I couldn't be a JohnSmith.com. I had to be SebastianMalinowski.com, right?
Yeah. See, Tim Knox, 7 letters, mostly the normal letters except for the X.
So yeah.
We will put links to everything down below. My buddy, this has been a lot of fun. We need to do this again.
Absolutely. Anytime. Thanks so much, Tim, for having me. It's an honor. Thank you.
Hey, great having you. And of course, if I can do anything for you, everyone knows how to get a hold of me, 679-0704. And if you're a realtor who would like to learn more about what I do and what Sebastian does, you know, I'm more than happy to help you. We are in a very competitive market, but, you know, personalities are so different. I would love to see everybody doing video. That would give me a warm and fuzzy. I still want to sell more than you, but it would give me a warm and fuzzy. Sebastian, this has been fun, buddy. I'll see you later.
You bet. Thanks so much, Tim. Have a good one.